With all of capitalism's hustle and bustle having arrived at the most wonderful time of the year, this episode will teach you how to do it differently. Hey there, and welcome to the Fierce Authenticity Podcast, where I teach you how to decolonize your mind, break free from supremacy's internalized patriarchal conditioning, and have amazing relationships. It doesn't have to be one or the other, friend. You can have both. And my signature framework, Fierce Authenticity, shows you how. I'm your hostess, Sharani M. Patak, and now let's get to it. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited that you're here. And today I know that we are right smack, in the middle of holiday season. Allegedly the most wonderful time of the year. And I know that because we've been conditioned under systems of supremacy culture and capitalism and all the things that come from that for a lot of you, this may not be the most wonderful time of year. This may be a time of year where everything feels really frantic, everything feels really rushed, where it feels like there's so many pressures and all the to-dos and all the good stuff, all those good things. And so in today's episode, it's actually the start of a 3-part mini series that I want to share with you on how to actually get through the holidays and seasons where supremacy conditioning's capitalism tells us that we have to rush, we have to hustle, we have to do for others at our own expense. And I want to offer you an alternative perspective instead. I want to offer you a perspective that allows you to actually feel this time as the most wonderful time of the year. And I want you to experience this time as a time of true love and connection and intimacy and authenticity in all of your relationships. And that's why I want to share with you first about how slowing down is actually going to get you more of what you want. You get to experience more of what you want in your life when you allow yourself to slow the fuck down. And so that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. And then next week, we're going to talk about boundaries, the holiday edition. And then the following week, we are going to address New Year's resolutions and setting goals for the new you. Haha, barf. Anyways, so coming back to today's episode, I want you to picture the scenes that you see everywhere right now, where everyone is in such a rush. You're getting constant barrage of emails letting you know what sales are happening and what discounts are available and what the hottest, latest, and greatest thing is that you should buy so that your family can be happy. And you see a lot of crowds at malls, or you see sometimes websites crashing because everyone is trying to get on and get the latest thing for their loved ones because they think that this material possession is going to get them the experience that they want. And the energy is just so frantic and so chaotic. There's so much rush. There's so much urgency. There's so much lack. LACK and scarcity in the air, because this is the time of year where we are sold every single lie and piece of BS about how we need these outside material possessions that are really only fleeting and temporary, by the way. but how we need these external things in order for us to be happy, in order for our loved ones to feel loved, in order for everyone to feel appreciated and that they matter. And since you listen to this podcast, I know that you know that that's just the crap and the lies that capitalism, which of course is born out of supremacy culture, teaches us. It is so focused on dollars, dollars, dollars. This is the time of year from quote unquote Black Friday to the new year when really it's kind of the make or break. It's the last ditch to make sales and get profits and increase your margins and all that other stuff in business. Purely capitalistic, purely dehumanizing you, me, and everyone else, and purely telling us that what we need to feel happy is something that's going to be bought. And that's not to say that we don't buy things that help us amplify our happiness. That's not to say that. But it is to say that this is a season where there is a constant barrage of messages coming to us, telling us all these things. We fall for it every time. Every time you fall for it. And even when you see and feel that this isn't right, there's something here that just, it's off. And this isn't the way that you actually want to do the holidays. You don't want to feel this chaos. You don't want to feel this rush. You don't want to feel this hype about all of the things that don't matter in life. When really, this is supposed to be the time, quote unquote, supposed to be the time that you get to slow down, where you get to rest, where you get to savor and enjoy. And I want you to pretty much visualize and picture, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere, just look outside your window. Does it look like things are out there thriving right now? Does it look like nature is in hustle and bustle and grind energy right now? Or does it look like nature is in an inward, slow, quiet, almost like this retreat energy? And now let's contrast the hustle and bustle, the craziness, the capitalistic lies. Let's juxtapose that with what you see outside your window. And of course, it might be storming. There could be a snowstorm that you're in or whatever. But for the most part, there's not flowers blooming in every tree right now. Things are not outwardly visible right now outside your window. And that's because when we allow ourselves to follow the seasons and cycles of nature, which of course has been programmed out of us due to supremacy culture, when we allow ourselves to look to nature, because remember, humans are creatures, we are animals, and we do need to abide by nature, because when we don't, we get shit like GMO'd food that is lacking nutrition and is doing us more harm and making us more ill, or we get climate change and global warming and pollution and toxic waste and unclean water and all this other good stuff. And that's what happens when humans are not working with nature, but instead are working against nature. So I want you to think about what might happen if you were to allow yourself to follow what nature's rhythm was. Hey friend, if you're enjoying what you're hearing and you want to get in on more amazing life-changing tips on how to show up as your most embodied and authentic self and still have amazing relationships, then come on over and join me in my free email community. As a bonus, when you sign up during season 4, you'll get the opportunity to join me live for these podcast recordings, just like we're doing here, where you'll have an opportunity to ask me questions and get coached live by me, all simply for being a part of the Fierce Authenticity community. Visit sharanimpathak.com/connect to sign up. Again, that's sharanimpathak.com/connect to sign up. The link is in the show notes, and I am excited to see you on the inside. What if you were to give yourself permission to slow down, to be more internally focused, to turn towards self to see what you need or what your heart wants to share with your loved ones, as opposed to what corporate and big business and consumerism and capitalism tell you that you need. Yeah. Pausing right there to really let yourself feel that, to feel the shift of being so pulled in and sucked in by the hustle, the bustle, the chaos that's happening out there. And instead turning to nature and giving yourself the permission to turn inward. And when you allow yourself to do that, what ends up happening is whatever you do decide to go out and buy, or whomever you do choose to engage with during this season, you're going to be doing it from a completely different energy and from a completely different space, rather than coming at it from that frantic energy, which continues to keep you distracted and disconnected. You get to instead do it from the energy of a peaceful presence, a groundedness, a connection with yourself, with your source, and then with others in your life. And your presence, that peaceful, calm, aligned, present presence, that is the greatest present that you can give yourself and anybody else. Because I can guarantee you that when people look back on memories, they're not going to think about, oh, in that year that I got the whatever that was hot and popular. Because that shit comes and goes. What they're going to remember is your presence, your energy, your participation, how you approached your loved ones and the season in general. That's what people are going to remember. It makes me think of a funny story, actually. I'm flashing back to my childhood, and yes, this does have to do with some of the things that were under the tree, but greater than that was actually the games that we played. So every year growing up, my mom would buy us Barbies. She had 2 daughters, me and my sister, and there were always Barbies under the tree. And my sister and I, every year, would sneak under that tree and we would feel the boxes. Like, yep, confirming this box feels like a Barbie. Oh, I don't know. This box doesn't feel like a Barbie. Oh, how about this box? What does this box feel like? I mean, that's what we did. And that's what I remember. I don't remember what any of those freaking Barbies looked like. I have no recollection of them whatsoever. But what I remember is the experience of my sister and I sneaking under that tree, shaking those boxes, getting tactile with them, exploring them, touching them, kind of squeezing on them, and every now and again unwrapping a corner of them to confirm what's in the box. That's what I remember. And that's what the gift of presence does. Because though, sure, it was fun to get the Barbie or whatever, but what was more fun was me and my sister engaging in this game that we did year after year. Until we outgrew the Barbies, of course. And so that's what I want you to remember. That when you slow down, when you connect with yourself, when you come into alignment with you and with the divine source of something greater than you, when you look to nature for your cues, and when you move from there, that's where you'll make your greatest impact on your loved ones. And I guarantee you, it is not going to be because you got them the latest iPhone or the latest gadget or the latest whatever. And especially not if you did it from the energy of hustle and chaos and franticness and scarcity and lack. But if you take the time to connect with yourself, to slow the fuck down, to get present, then you will be able to actually think and consider, what can I gift my dad who really enjoys mountain biking and whose protective gear has been looking a little tattered lately? Or what would my mom really appreciate? My mom who works so hard for all of us, who makes the yummiest foods. What might she enjoy? What might she appreciate? Or what might my other loved one feel a lot of joy around receiving? Even if it's a freshly baked plate of cookies. And that's what I want you to remember. Right now, in the midst of the most wonderful time of the year, so that you can start to create new legacies and do something differently. Something that allows for deep presence, deep connection, and true intimacy, and an opportunity for you to live in your utmost fierce authenticity. I want to take a moment to honor the amazing team that helps make this podcast possible for you, starting with our audio editor, Diego Velázquez, graphic designer and behind-the-scenes admin, Ana Olvina, transcript proofreader and editor, Vani Batak, show notes and blog posts by Bijana Sandich, photography by Lauren at Radiance Studio, the musical track Tropical Summer Beach by Alex Make Music on Pixabay, my husband, my family, my community, my higher power, and last but not least, I want to thank you, my loyal listener and friend, so much for tuning in. Ways that you can further support the podcast are by rating and reviewing Fierce Authenticity on Apple, sharing it with everyone you know, screenshotting it, posting it on social media, and be sure to tag me at Sharani M. Batak when you do, and making a one-time or recurring financial contribution through the link in the show notes. And remember, be sure to sign up for my emails and check out my current services, offerings, and ways to work with me over at fierceauthenticity.com. I am sending you so much love, friend, and I cannot wait until we are together again soon.